So number 6, on life hacks we can learn from yoga even if we don't do yoga, is to wake up between 4 and 6 a.m. in the morning. Why is that time essential? So in Kundalini Yoga and also in other forms, other yoga forms have that too, there is a ritual that is called sadhana. And actually you write it and it's written sadhana, right? So just in case you want to do the research on that. And that is basically a morning routine that starts approximately somewhere between, some say 3 and 6 a.m. But basically the idea is to start before the sun comes up and the energy on the earth, basically the earth wakes up, right? So that is a good moment to start not only your yoga practice, but to start your day in general. You can try that out, even if you don't want to practice yoga so early in the morning, right from the get-go. That is totally fine. I just like to invite you to try that out for yourself and to just, if you have the possibility, go outside. Maybe you can sit somewhere and you can just try to become aware of the energy around you. Maybe you will hear the birds sounding or starting to sing. Whatever you notice, it's a very precious moment. And it's a time where you can really tune in to the energy with the earth, the Mother Nature, Gaia, whatever you want to call it. And I would be really grateful and happy if there are some things that you notice, just leave it down in the comments so that we can share with each other. One thing that I've felt for myself to be true is that I could feel the earth breathing. That sounds a little bit odd, maybe if you haven't had a similar experience before. But it's like a really strange feeling to describe, and probably this will go too deep right now. But I just, I invite you to do your own not research, but your own experiment with that. And it can be a precious time also, in case you don't want to start with yoga right away. You can start to journal, it might be that also during that time, your dreams might be more present than in other times throughout the day. So that can be a good time as well for you to channel your dreams, the messages that your subconscious wants to tell you. And it can be also a really good start for the day, where you set your intentions for the day, where you write them down, for prayers as well. No matter which way you communicate or release certain things, that can be a great start. And what I actually like most about it is that you can really take your time with it, because there's no rush. You can really take your time. So try that out for you, and don't take it as something you need to do or you need to wake up that early, but just so a sweet time for you to see how you feel about it, to have so much time, so much space in the morning to just be able to do the things that you want to do. Maybe you want to draw or something like that. So just take it as a small child would and just get curious about it, but don't feel the pressure to need to wake up that early if that sounds still like too much of a step for you at this moment in time. So, number 7 of life hacks we can learn from Kundalini Yoga, even if we don't practice yoga, is cold showers. So, cold showers are something that most people don't like to do simply because we're not used to it, right? It's uncomfortable. It brings you out of your comfort zone so quickly. And it's a really quick way in order to erase your ego, like to just silence your ego immediately. If you do cold showers, it will do a lot for you. And I don't want to make you get bored with the message, because there are a lot of things that you can look up. But one thing that I want to share with you in this context is that you will notice that if you stay under the cold water and you surpass the level of pushing against it, because you will need to push for it, especially if you do it in the mornings. If you can surpass that level, there will be a moment where you feel happy. You will feel so happy that you will be laughing. And the cold water will be running on your body in your shower, and you will just start to laugh. And that is also a very normal and natural reaction from your body. So it's actually also a great advisor on getting your mood up, So besides the factors for your skin, for your lymphatic system, for your nervous system, there are so many great attributes to having cold showers. But as I said, most of all, I want you to take out that idea that it's just, it makes you laugh. So if you stay long enough inside there and just practice it, you will feel that too. One thing to mention also for the cold showers is that one thing to keep in mind is that your brain, the skin on your brain up here is very soft. It is not really thick. So you should try to avoid by having water directly on your head. What it does, since it shocks your brain, since the skin is so thin, that can cause some reactions that would not be so good. So just try to leave out that piece of your head. For me personally, I leave out the head completely. I don't do the head. The most I do is to have it until my upper lip. So everything from this part down can be with cold water, but everything up until my upper lip and up, I don't do that. What it does to your underlip, the cold water, is that energizes you. If you use the upper lip as well, and everything that goes beyond that, is what it will do is it will make you feel more tired afterwards. Until at this point, it will energize. But since the shock from here up there will be so immensely, there will be the need for your body to push a lot of blood, in order to regulate. And that after taking a cold shower, it will fall down as quickly as it went up, which can then, and you will feel that by feeling tired, because your blood is not anymore so much in that space down here, but it goes down, I'm sorry. So in order for you to not feel tired after having the cold shower, or at least for me, that's what I do. I don't do colder showers from this place until up. And also, one thing to keep in mind, or which I keep in mind, is to protect my heart when I take a cold shower. Also, the reasoning here is the same as for the brain. If you put cold water directly on your chest, your heart, it is a lot to take for your heart in that moment. Generally speaking, if you take a cold shower, your heart will be pushing and pushing, and it will be a lot of work. So I just try to avoid direct contact with the water draining directly through on my chest. And you will see that it works as well. You will still have the cold water like everywhere, but just not directly pointing at your heart, right? Right. One more thing in regards to the shower and your legs. So, what is that called? Basically your leg. But just let me go back to the camera. So, this part of your leg, like the front of your leg, I try to avoid that too. Here at this part of the leg in front, there are a lot of nerves that are directly connected with all your whole body, but also directly to your heart. So I try to avoid direct cold water on that piece of the body. What I do instead is, once I'm taking the shower and the cold water is running, I would just turn, and by that, the water would run automatically also on my legs. I would just avoid to put the cold water directly on the leg, like that. Right. So that said, really like to invite you to take a cold shower. And you can practice, you can start with small steps and see how it goes. But basically, just want to let you know that even if your ego tells you that you will be dying if you go inside there, that won't happen. And you know that too. So it's really interesting to hear your ego out, because your ego, before getting into the shower, will tell you a lot of different stories about why you shouldn't do that, which can be great to journal, because it can be a great way to start working with your unconscious fears, and to really discover where they come from and what they are trying to tell you. Because, of course, they try to keep them protected. Those ego parts, they want to be alive. And if you go on that cold shower, they will basically die because you tell them that they don't have power over you. So it's really curious and interesting to see with what they come up. And I have a lot of funny stories about that too. So once, maybe I will share them in another video.